Anyway, welcome to my live. This is an experiment for me. I've done one or two before with the one when we were cooking, but it was on our phones, and now I'm on my desk, as you can see. So I think, are you all hearing me? Can someone just? I'm not sure. Let me see. Are you able to share something with me like you can on the phone? Can someone say hello or something? I'm going to say hey here in the chat, just so I get a sense. Can I see that Lila has joined? Can someone write a message? Yes, yes, can hear. Oh, great. Oh, I love you all people. You're fabulous. For most importantly, what are we drinking? I'm having my bubbles. Hey, Dan Perlman, Brenda, Janelle, Cynthia, Mary Hood. This is great. So didn't expect this to happen so quickly, so fast, and I'm thrilled and delighted. So again, my name is well, I'm starting. My name is David Leite, and I am the founder of the website Leite's Culinaria. And on Substack, I am the David blog. So I'm going to, hey, Kitchen Beard, thanks for joining. So I'm going to just jump into some of the things that we're going to be talking about today. And I'm able to actually now share screen. So that is like really wild. So I'm going to see what I can actually share and not at the moment. Uh, okay. So I'm going to cover a couple of things, and I don't know how long this is going to be, but I want to cover some cookbooks that I have some advanced copies of. One book, I don't have the advanced, I mean, it already came out, and it's a book I think all of you should get. And then from there, I want to talk about, um, where we are. There's my list. Yes. I want to talk about St. Patrick's Day first. And then I want to talk about the Le Creuset nonstick skillet and the Mise nonstick skillet. I wrote about it on my Substack and also in my newsletter. And I want to just clarify some of the things that I said that people have written me and asked me some very interesting questions about the skillets and the difference. I want to talk about that. Then it'll be the 2026 sneak peek for cookbooks, and then any kind of Q&A with you guys. So I'm just going to jump right in now. And everyone, if you could just join in and just either just say yes. Are people cooking for St. Patrick's Day? Just you can write yes in the chat, just so I get a sense of what's going on. So Greg Crawford just joined. Hello, Greg. He's one of my best testers ever. Thanks for joining, Greg. So if you can just put in the chat, hello, Sally Eckes. Ray, you are making St. Patrick's Day. Lila, you're not. Okay, Lila, we're going to talk about that because I do. Dan, no. Alexandra, yes. Okay. I want to talk about Karen. Karen said no. Greg said good evening. I want to talk about just a couple of things for St. Patrick's Day. Yes, Peggy Fallon, of course you are. Yes, yes. Some every year I always make corned beef, homemade corned beef. I cure it myself, and I use the recipe that's on my website. But I don't know if you guys are aware. This is like a little bit of a commercial, and there's no obligation for anybody. But I have what's called a Leite's Culinaria Cure and Cook Kit. Basically, it has everything you need to make the corned beef. So it has, this is all pre-measured here, and this is the cure. But you put it in water, and you boil it, so therefore it gets all it distributes all the flavor. Cool it, and then you put in the corned beef, and then it stays for 5 days, flipping every day. And then the second part is this is what you cook the corned beef in. This is the cook part of it. It's very little. It's a custom blend that I created. And for those of you who want to make corned beef but don't want to go and buy 7,462 herbs and spices, you can get that at World Spice. It's where I have my cookie mix actually is out right now, but I have a bunch of other things there. I have my Coney Island hot dog mix. I have my Portuguese kitchen mix. I have the Taste of Portugal. Thanks, Sally. Yeah, I've had it, and I completely forgot about it. And I started seeing people were asking me, is it going to be featured again this year? And it is. So you can go to World Spice and you can order it, and it's fantastic. Let me know if you do it. But let's talk a little bit about corned beef for those people, just very quickly to go through it. Really important to know that you really need to rinse the corned beef before you start to cook it. So it's been in the brine. It's going to be really salt. Okay. Megan R., would you believe me if I told you I've never had corned beef? Megan R., that's my niece. Megan, we have to fix that. I'm going to send you a kit. You always got to make sure that you really rinse off the corned beef really well after it comes out of the brine, because of course it's going to be incredibly, incredibly salty. You want to cook it low and slow. It is low and slow is the name of the game on this. Never let it boil. You also want the 20-minute rest after it cooks, and all the flavors to get absorbed in there. Slice against the grain. Really important. Always slice against the grain. It'll make it more tender that way. If you cut along the grain with the grains of the muscle, it will be tough. And then you can do a mustard glaze with some Dijon mustard, which is not Irish, I know, but Dijon mustard, a little brown sugar, and you can broil it just for a little bit to get a little extra flavor. So that's kind of the corned beef. But there are some other recipes that I think really are so worth it, even if you're not Irish, even if you're not celebrating St. Patrick's Day. I have on the website a chocolate Guinness cake. This is outrageously good because what it is it's a moist but dense chocolate cake, not made with eggs. There's no eggs in it. And then it has a cream cheese brown butter frosting on the very top. Hi, Jen. So great to see you. And it's very easy to make. We made it last week as a just, I always test things before I'm going to either talk about them or make them or for the holidays. And so it is really worth it. And let me just see if I can actually share my screen and not mess it up because this is all new. Yes, so I'm sharing this. I think you guys can see this. These are some of the recipes that I think are worth making. The slow cooker Irish beef stew, if you've got it, if you got a slow cooker, it's worth it. Then the chocolate Guinness cake I was just talking about, which is really wonderful. Ina Garten's mashed potatoes with lemon, it really goes so well with the corned beef. Cowboy steak with Guinness sauce, you can't go wrong. Corned beef hash, and my recipe for corned beef hash, which uses the corned beef, and you can just buy corned beef at the store and cook it at home. That's fine. You don't have to do the brining. You can already buy it pre-brined. Beef and Guinness pie, really lovely Irish soda bread, but this has walnuts in it. You can make homemade Irish cream, which is a revelation to me. And then if you do get the corned beef, you also can make homemade pastrami by smoking it and putting the pepper crust on the outside. Irish coffee, pan box steak. This is basically a big giant Irish latke, and it is so good and so easy. And it does an interesting technique where you squeeze out all of the liquid from the potatoes because you don't want to have a lot of liquid in it. And then the starch settles to the bottom. You pour the water off and then you add the starch back for a really, really creamy texture. And this is for Darina Allen, the Irish, I think she's Irish cookbook queen, a black velvet cocktail and Guinness Irish cream, and then there's the corned beef. So I need to now find a way to get back to stop sharing. Do I actually get back to you folks? Let's see. No, this was a dumb move on my part. Are you still with me, folks? Let's see. You're still with me. Excellent. Hey, Ray. So the point cut, the nicest, the fattiest cut. I like the point cut. Oh gosh, you got me now. I don't like to use the fattiest cut because you can get those big, big, thick striations of fat, which is, I love fat. I mean, obviously, look at me. I love fat, but it can be this real big thing, real big strike through it. And then the meat pulls away from it and it gets really distorted. Um, so yes, I am back. So Greg said yes, and Alexander said yes. So that's just a few things about corned beef and about St. Patrick's Day. I will be putting out a newsletter this week or the beginning of next, this weekend or the beginning of next about St. Patrick's Day. Give you a time if you want to order the corned beef cook and cure kit. If not, no problem. You can still buy it at the store and you can cook it at home. Not a problem. You like the fatty one, Ray? A lot of people do. A lot of people do. I like the one that's slightly leaner. So that's the, any questions about St. Patrick's Day? You can just let me know, and I'm going to move on because I don't know how long this is going to take. Jen is much better at this. Jen Sharp. If you don't actually know Jen Sharp, you should click on her and go to her website, go to her page because she has a live every month, and it's fantastic. Hi, Terry. So now we're going to be talking gear. Now, the this is the Le Creuset. You can see it has a slightly rough texture. And then this is the mise en pan. Now, this is, you see, it's a little bit mottled on there. This is the one in my newsletter of last week. This is the one that I have chosen as my pan. And the reason why is I got both of them in November and I was cooking with them because I wanted a real nonstick pan because the one is always screaming, we don't have a good nonstick pan. And I was very disappointed. I had written about this with the Meson. This is a carbon steel, but it's nitricized, I think is what they call it, nitricized. Um, and uh, and so it supposedly is nonstick out of the box. I found out that that really wasn't the case. It really wasn't uh, as much as the Le Creuset. The Le Creuset is one of those pans that you can just use a little bit of spray and not even, you don't have to even use spray, and you can cook eggs in it and it just slides all around and it's wonderful. But the problem is this particular skillet has the forever chemicals. And I've really kind of gotten into this whole thing of like not wanting forever chemicals in my body. And so, but the Meson was always sticking and I was having a hard time with it sticking. But it says if you keep cooking with it, it will get more and more nonstick. And it is more nonstick. If you ever tried the Our Place pans, I have tried the Our Place, and I found them over time to just stick. They got more sticky as time went on. And I actually, sorry, Our Place, but I'm just being honest with you guys. I threw the pan away. I just couldn't use it anymore. It just didn't work for me. But with the Meson, though, over time it became more and more nonstick. Actually, I just made my dinner, and it was two chicken burgers, and it was frying it with no problem. It did not stick. It was sliding all around. But I just want to, what I wanted to talk about again, or why I wanted to mention it again, is that with the Le Creuset, the one that I'm not using because it has the forever chemicals, is the egg can just slide around beautifully. It doesn't happen with the Meson at first. And even over time, it'll be nonstick, but sometimes you have to use the spatula, like a metal spatula underneath. What I love about the Meson is with all the Meson pans, and I don't make money from them. I bought these pans myself, is that you can use metal utensils in them, which you can't with the Le Creuset. You have to use the wood or the plastic. But what's nice about it is it doesn't rust the way carbon steel does. It is really rust resistant. I mean, I think if you let it sit in water for days and days, but I've let it sit in water, half inch of water after I've cooked something. And I want to get anything off the bottom of the pan for half hour, 20 minutes, no rust. You wipe it. There's no rust on it. So for me, it is a much better pan. But I just wanted to give the caveat that if you want that kind of pan where the egg just slides all around with practically no fat, I'm not finding the Meson does that. You have to put some fat in there and you have to work with it a little bit. That's what eggs. Eggs are like, I think the measuring stick of everything. I think it's the measure at which a good pan is made or is tested because it will stick. But I find that that is a great pan, and I just wanted to clarify the thing about how you would use it. I also don't go all the way up to a high heat on it. I put it on medium heat and let it heat up really well, and it seems to do perfectly fine. So I haven't heard of them on pods I listen to. Okay. I can leave my 120-year-old cast iron skillet in dirty water for a week, no rust. That's because, Ray, it is, I'm sure, incredibly seasoned, knowing you as a cook. So uh, moving on, this is going a lot faster than I thought. Please, everyone, ask me questions on any of this stuff. I will try to slow down. I'm just so excited and I'm anxious. And if you saw what my desk looked like, I would love to show you, but I think there'd be divorce in my future. It is an utter mess. So a couple of books that one is already out, and if you don't have it, I would love you to get it. And that is Cookies. It's by Vaughn Vreeland, the New York Times. And I love Vaughn. If anyone could carry the mantle of the New York Times chocolate chip cookie, uh, it it would be Vaughn. He loves that the New York Times chocolate chip cookie. For those who don't know, it came out of the article that I wrote for the New York Times, I think in 2009 or 2008, and it's based on a Jacques Torres cookie, and it's the one where you Rest the dough for 36 hours in the refrigerator because it hydrates the flour. It gives it a much more caramelly flavor. The edges are really crisp, where the inside and the middle is really soft, and it's got great texture. It pisses people off that you have to wait 36 hours. Deal. I'm sorry about that, but it is so much better. And also, so I introduced that technique and introduced the idea of putting the sea salt on it, which everyone does now. But back in 2009, I think only Pierre Aimé was doing it. My favorite cookie, worth the wait. Thank you, Megan. And so this book is terrific. And what I love about it is he breaks it up into really interesting sections. Now, anyone have this book? Let me know. And what I love about it is the first cookie in it and the first recipe is the recipe that uh, I adapted from Jacques Torres. Isn't this also great? It's a visual table of contents of all of the cookies, and it's called Table of Cookies. I just think that is very, very clever of what he's done. And Deb, thank you. It is so worth the wait. I agree with you. I agree. And my niece Megan, who's on, she loves them, and she makes them all the time for her kids. So again, it starts off with the New York Times chocolate chip cookie. And what's lovely is this is like the greatest hits of cookies. It's got recipes for me, Dory Greenspan, Eric Kim, literally all of the major cookies that have been in and around the New York Times for a long time. Melissa Clark, and so it's Susan Spungen. She's here on um, she's here on Substack. So if you don't follow Susan, do, because she's wonderful. And she actually was Susan was the food stylist for a lot of movies, but the one that I love, I don't love the movie that much, but I love the food styling, was Eat, Pray, Love. She did all the food in that as well as others, and she was at Martha Stewart. She's wonderful. So it's a great book. Um, and there's just it's tons and tons of cookie recipes, and it's divided up in interesting sections. So, for instance, it it he breaks it up because need help deciding. There's dough to done in 30 minutes. Stunning showstoppers. Cookies to woo your boo. I love that. Especially fun with kids. Flavor combinations I didn't know I needed. Honestly, just make this right now. And that's the double chocolate chip cookie. 5-star recipes with 5,000 more comments on the New York Times website. My go-to freezer cookies. So it is absolutely a cookbook. I really wish I could flip through it easily for you. Let's see. You can do it. It's a great book. Yeah, that's not doing very well, Dave. Come on, Dave. It's got everything. And a lot of them are very creative and clever. And Vaughn Vreeland, who is the editor who put this all together, he works at the time. He's just got a great sense of humor. He's got a great personality. I'm trying to get him. Tell me if you would be interested in say yes or no. I'd like to get him on one of my lives now that I'm trying to do more. Would you be interested in having me interviewing Vaughn Vreeland of the New York Times about cookies? Do let me know. So that's the book that's out. And if you don't have it, I do suggest getting it. This one just came in today. I looked at it and I absolutely was howling. Kitchen Beer said, yes, he seems like a good guy. He is a great guy. Yes. So Greg says yes. Jen says yes. Alexandra, thank you. Thank you. Mary says yes. This is terrific. This one says, who put the beef into Wellington? I'll go with that close. And this is by James Winter. What I love about it, it is all the classic recipes. There are no photographs at all, which I know for the youngins, that's like, oh no, I need pictures. And I agree. I love having pictures. But he goes into the stories behind all of these particular recipes. There's chicken Kiev, and it also has the old, that old timey kind of paper, like when we were kids, and the old, just the wonderful old novel kind of paper. It's just wonderful. This is the beef Wellington. He tells the story of beef Wellington, chicken Kiev, Melba toast. And so if you like the Waldorf salad, pizza margarita, the Walton pie, lobster thermidor. If you're someone who likes food history and like to cook history and taste history, this is a great book. Now, this is coming out in April, and so it's not out yet. And I don't even know if if I did this, if I'm supposed to do this, but I am doing it anyway. So I'm just showing to you. But you can get all of these on Amazon. Again, I'm not being paid for it. There's no connection. I can put links on this play page when it actually publishes, but it's a great little gift to give someone. It's a great, what I thought about it as soon as I saw the size of it, it's a great hostess gift. I thought, wow, that's a great idea to be able to, if you're going to be spending the weekend with someone's at someone's house and they love to cook, like putting this in a basket, maybe with like a homemade mix of muffins that they just put the eggs in or something like that, or a couple of a fun apron or a fun dish towel. It's a great little hostess gift, and it's a great gift to give and also to have on the shelf. Again, I'm not being paid by these publishers. The publishers don't even know I'm doing this. And I did want to say one thing. I hope I did not close the damn page. There is a Substacker here, and I think I closed the page. You can search her. It's Historian in the Kitchen. She did a very lovely, long, and thoughtful review about Vaughn's book, the cookies. It's really wonderful. And if you are on the live, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to see, and I don't have a tab open. I don't want to go searching and then close tabs and close you guys out. But she did a really lovely review, and it just happened to pop up in my feed right before the live. And I thought, hey, I'm going to mention that. So it's Historian in the Kitchen. And if you search, her latest post is about that particular cookbook. Now, you're going to be noticing that a lot of the books I'm talking about are baking. And I came out of the closet once before, in case you didn't know. Came out of the closet once before in my life, and I'm coming out of the closet again. I am a closeted baker. I love to bake. That's my favorite thing. I prefer to bake way more than it comes and then cooking. I just think baking, the precision of it is great. I love that. I love the challenge of it. I like the science of it. And it makes me really happy to eat what I've made. And I love carbs. So a lot of these are baking books. Now, this one is Loaf Tin Bakes. And I'm trying to get it in the middle for those people who were looking at this on mobile. And I'm going to try and say it. I'm going to butcher it, but it's from Flavie Millet Journal. Okay. Flavie Millet Journal. And it's called Loaf Tin Bakes. And actually, if somebody would be kind enough to type in the title in this message chat, so therefore other people can see it. Again, it's all about loaf cakes. She does some very interesting things. She's French with a name like Flavie Millet Journal. You understand why. Very simple ones. Okay, yay. That's fine. This is coming out in April also. But she does this lovely stuff where also she does the techniques. Now, it may be hard to see. Thank you so much, Mary. I really appreciate it. And Jen, thank you for that. This is hard to see, but that is a strip right there of butter. And the reason why she does that is that's a great technique, because what it does is as it starts to bake, the butter forces the surface tension to split. And you get a really beautiful straight line down your loaf pan, as you can see. Let me see if I can, it was a beautiful one here. As you can see right there. I mean, that is absolutely beautiful. And so she has techniques in it, but she also does this wonderful thing, which I never really saw, to be honest with you, when it came to loaf cakes. She has a tube that she puts in the middle of her cakes. And this is filled with, this one happens to be, I believe, that's Nutella or that's milk chocolate. And then she has all of these fillings that go in, and she shows the equipment to use it. You need to do that and to accomplish that technique. And a lot of the stuff is all made from scratch. So, for instance, like a pistachio cake, instead of go out and buying it at Costco, she shows you how to make it, which I think actually ends up being cheaper. It's a wonderful book. Here's another one. This is a creme brulee loaf cake. You do that with charcuterie, exactly, Kitchen Beard. It's the exact same technique, except she does it with baking. But in charcuterie, you can put that straight through. Like if you're doing what do you do, like a pâté de campagne? Uh, Kitchen beard, that's what I do, and I don't have a tool for it. I just kind of put a channel down the middle. Um, and so it's a wonderful book. It's simple. Look at this. This is a tiramisu cake, which it has the channel in the middle. It has the cake, and that is a cream, a chantilly cream on top. Thanks, Kitchen Beard. I love this book so much that I actually went out and bought a piece of equipment. Do you see how this loaf is straight down, 90 degrees across, 90 degrees up? Unlike our loaf pans, which are, what's the, the emoji for mouthwater? Ours are, they're slanted like this on the sides. I love the fact that these were so straight, so beautifully straight that I went out and I bought a pan from on Amazon, and I really should have brought it out to show you. And it's one of those. It's actually a panda me pan, which is it's a loaf pan. It's 9 inches wide by four inches tall, and it has the lid that slides on. It's a little channel on both sides. It slides on, so when the bread itself, not the loaf pan, not these loaf cakes, but when the bread rises, it becomes a beautiful square or a beautiful rectangle. I use it now. I just take the top off, and I'm baking my loaf cakes in it. So ours are rounded, like us rounded folks. Um, I will you I will you my skillet. Thank you very much. Um, Now I was so was already working on a loaf cake. It's a triple lemon loaf cake. It's a lemon pound cake, but it's done with the reverse creaming method. Now, if you don't know the reverse creaming method, normally when you cream cakes, you'll do the sugar and the butter, and then you'll add the flour and the liquid, the buttermilk, the milk, the juice, whatever it is, in alternating together, the dry and the wet. The reverse creaming method is you take the butter and you cream it. Well, in this one, you have the lemon zest and you cream it. So therefore, all of the oil comes out of the lemon zest. And there's 24 grams of lemon zest, which is about 5 to 6 tablespoons, depending how much you pack it down. And then you add the dry ingredients and you make it it whisks it all together and it coats the flour. Then you add the liquid in two parts. And this is something that Rose Levy Berenbaum brought to the consumer world of cooking because it's very much a commercial thing. So it's that. Then inside it also has lemon juice and it has lemon marmalade. And then when it's done, it comes out, you brush it with a lemon syrup and you coat the top with lemon marmalade. And then you put more zest on top. It's this quadruple quintuple lemon pound cake. And then when I saw this book, I thought, oh God, I had to look at hers. And that's when I went out and I bought that square sided pan. So you can look for that recipe coming up soon. In like the next 3 weeks or so. I'm going to wait till after St. Patrick's Day to release it onto the world. But it's great and it's a wonderful cake. And that this gave me the inspiration for that particular pan. I've also seen them called Pullman. Yes, thank Kitchen Beard. Exactly. They are Pullman loaf pans. So this next one it's unusual for me, and you'll see why. It's called Centerpiece. It's by Helen. This comes out in April. This comes out in April. It's Helen Graham. Bold, vibrant recipes to put vegetables in the spotlight. And if you know me or know anything about me, I do not like vegetables. I mean, I eat vegetables, but I don't pursue them. Like the one will has to have vegetables with every single meal, not me. If I go a month without vegetables, I'm fine. I was so blown away. First of all, is this not beautiful? Look at that. It's just a beautiful end paper. And it's the same in the back also. What I love about it is it's just it's marvelous. She has there's sweet things, peas, walnuts, and orange water blossom. And if I'm not mistaken, let me just get here. It's a vegetable forward cooking from the former chef of London's Bubala. I believe it's Bub. Bubala. Maybe it's Bubala, not Bubala. Bubala. It's Middle Eastern and North African flavors, and I mean you can't get any better than being endorsed by. Hello, Olga. Being endorsed by Odolenge, and Odolenge says, can't read it. Helen carries the torch for all the ingredients I love most. Vegetables behaving exactly as they should. I'll cook after my own heart. So for me to actually recommend a vegetable cookbook, it's got to be good because it's just not my thing. It's just not my thing. I mean, look at this: harissa, roast carrots, mango, labneh, and mint. I mean, I just think it's so marvelous. And smoked aubergine, harissa, and basil lasagna. Lana, you crave vegetables? You're such a good person. I'm gonna burn in hell. I just binge watched all of The Good Place, by the way, last week. The whole season, the whole 4 seasons in 1 week. I'm definitely gonna end up in the bad place. Crispy cabbage, date butter, and tahini. I mean, this isn't like your grandma's overcooked carrots. It's a wonderful cookbook. It's beautifully, beautifully photographed. I love leeks. You guys like leeks? Leeks, oregano butter, and za'atar feta. So, and the reason why I'm doing this with the cookbooks is I used to have giveaways on my website. At one point, we had 84 per month years ago. Way too many. And a lot of times I gave away cookbooks. So I'm still getting the cookbooks. I just don't have the giveaways anymore. And I thought, I still want to share these great recipes of these great authors, some whom I've never heard of, some who are my favorites. And I wanted to pass it on to you as a way of just kind of being aware of what's coming down the line because I find out what's coming out 3 to 6 months ahead of time, sometimes a year ahead of time. And I really can't say very much because they're not even available. These are all now available for purchase. Um, so mushroom skewers. I mean, it's a lovely book. Again, it's Helen Graham. It's called Centerpiece. And the publisher is Hamlin. And I'm really glad that I got it. And the one has already got a couple of those earmarked. And so we will happily burn in hell with you, my love. Laura, thank you, my darling. Thank you. Someone's going to go along with me. By the way, can we just take a moment and say, whoever the person was who invented turtlenecks, we should canonize her. This does so much. Otherwise, it's like, oh my God. Oh, look, he has no double chin. Love turtlenecks. I do shish kebab skewers in my mini George Foreman grill. That's great, Ray. This is the book that I really am so excited about. And I get tons and tons of PDFs all the time from publishers. I rarely ask for hard copy. This was the book when I saw it. I said, absolutely, I've got to get it because I got the book of bread from them. And come on, guys, the book of pizza by King Arthur Baking Company. I love King Arthur Baking Company. I think that they are a fantastic, fantastic company. They're employee owned, very much like Yankee Magazine, Amy Traverso, who may be on here. If you are Amy, please say hi, who is my co-host of our old podcast, Talking with My Mouthful. And we might be bringing it here live, just like this. No editing, no music, no all those things. We might just jump in and talk about our favorite books and foods and what's happened in the last week with each other about food. But these guys, it's a great company. And I love this book so much because, first of all, I mean, the photography. Remember in the old days, King Arthur Baking Company, which used to go King Arthur Flour Company, they didn't have the best photography. I mean, between us, they didn't have the best photography. Man, they are kicking ass with their photography. And this is what I love. They have all the different types of pizza. Pizza Tonda, Chicago Tavern style, New Haven style, New York style, pizza alla palla, weeknight pizza continued, Neapolitan pizza, New American pizza, grandma pizza, weeknight Detroit, sourdough Detroit. All these, that's my type of cookbook. Love. Isn't it, Lila? It's wonderful. I just ordered loaf tin bags from Amazon. It's not available to April. Thank you for ordering. Let's support these authors. AI is taking everybody's job. Let's try and support authors who are putting out books. And just every freaking photograph makes you just want to dive in. They do, and I think this is very smart. They have the codes here that you can use your phone, and it brings up a lot of information. While you're cooking, you can have something on your phone. King Arthur used to give me very helpful advice over the telephone. They did. They were terrific. Um, they talk about the baking, the ovens, the technique, about grilling, not grilling pizza. I'm sorry, wood fire ovens. Um, and then they just break it down where you have it. I hope you can see it. It's garlic confit. It's ranch dressing, all homemade. Uh, and they go into the pizzas. And this I thought was nothing short of brilliant. They do this in the bread book. It gives you the timeline of how long it takes, so you can visualize and understand how long it takes to start all the way to finish. Hi, Diane. And it's just, again, the photography is terrific. And what I love about it is it's coming out in April, right? Yeah, April. It's from Simon Element as the publisher, and I think it's April 7th. So it's just not too far away. It goes into all of the absolute techniques. It has the clam pizza from New Haven, which is famous. So anyone like clam pizza, or is that just me? Lily loved the vegetable cookbook. Anyone like clam pizza? Was it just me? Love clam pizza. But I love clams. I love fried clams. So that has a lot to do with it. The cheeseburger pizza, and it goes on and on. And then they have salads in the back, pizza night salads. Man, look at this. Sausage and vodka sauce pizza. I mean, come on. That is, and it's all done by King Arthur. Also, please say yes or no, or Y and N if you'd like me to get some of the folks from King Arthur on a live with me to chat about the cookbook, chat about the process, chat about their flowers. Let me know if you can give a Y or an N. Good Lord, Jen Sharp said. Uh, I mean, it just gorgeous photos, but they also have the code so you can see it in action too. If I'm not mistaken, so they're not live yet, I believe, but a lot of these codes will take you to videos. And plus, King Arthur Baking Company, their website has a lot of incredible um, uh, videos. Also, too, did you know? I was just thinking about this. They have online classes. So yes, Diane. Yes, KA Peeps are awesome. They are. Love clam and pineapple pizza. Excellent. Not so, don't love pineapple that much, but I love clam. Uh, but they have classes. They have live classes that you can cook along as you go, or it's demonstrations and you can watch. And they have ones that are already pre-recorded. And I've taken a few just to check them out. They are really very good, very precise, very accurate, very good. And so, again, I'm not paid by them, but I just want people to have access to great content. And I figured since I have all this stuff, why not curate it for some folks? Um, Now, this is right up my alley. This is French onion pizza. I know fancy dancy and stuff, but it is so amazing because I have a French onion on my website. I have a French onion skillet chicken. I have a French onion, um, I think there's a French onion babka. There's about four or five French onion dishes on the website, and I'm working on a French onion burger. I'm playing around with the idea. I've seen a lot of them online, don't like them. They don't seem French oniony enough to me, so I'm thinking of that. Uh, What's the grand total if you bundle all of tonight's cookbooks? I have no idea. Cannot tell you, Ray. Mac and cheese, Kelly, absolutely. Love something with Kie and Kie. King Arthur, not KitchenAid. And you because you interpret for us. Oh, that's wonderful, Laura. Thank you. Is that my Laura Beaver? Is that my Beaver, Laura Beaver? Um, Corn pizza. Anyway, so I could just wax poetic about these things forever. But so these are the books that I get a lot more that I'm not even touting. They just didn't really do anything for me. So my number one is the Book of Pizza by King Arthur Baking Company. Centerpiece, surprisingly, Centerpiece did something for me. Loaf Tin Bakes, all about uh, all about pound cakes, basically. loaf cakes. And who put the beef into Wellington? And the last one that we started out with was Vaughn's book, Cookies. So I've gone through all of my stuff. So your French onion skillet chicken is French kiss. Laura, thank you. I happen to agree. If you haven't made my French onion skillet chicken, do. I think what makes it different is a lot of people, put it they'll just, I think I use chicken thighs in mine. They put it in the skillet, they do whatever they do. I actually have a French onion soup in there. And then right before it goes into the oven and the cheese goes on top, so it gets gratiné on top, I have you tear up French bread and put it in there so it sucks up all that sauce. And the cheese is covered on it. It gets beautifully gratinéed. And then when you scoop it out, it's thick like a French onion soup, but there's this big ass piece of chicken right in the middle of it with all that cheese on top. Um, so Daily I Ching and Daily Tarot, thank you for joining. So I have sped through 39 minutes of talking. Can you, are you have any questions? The Sunday dinner is Kelly Yumalicious. Any questions for me? Questions about Leeds Culinaria, questions about me, questions about baking or cooking that hopefully I can answer for you. If not, I will certainly search it and find you the answer. Um, Cookbooks, anything. The French onion chicken dish is beyond good, more like heavenly. Thank you, Lila Craft. Lila is I had this group of people that I went to Italy with. I don't know if I mentioned this to you guys and any of the writing. I led a group over in Florence, and it was Leeds Culinaria Cooks Tour of Florence. And it was really wonderful. There was a group of about 10 people, and we had classes, we had demonstrations, we had tours that we went on, wine tastings, olive oil tastings. Our group, there's 10 of us, have all stayed together. And I'm actually having every 2 weeks or so, we have our private little cooking class together where we make some of the dishes from the tour to just help cement some of the techniques that they learned and some of the dishes that they learned. And it's a great, great group. Um, you're welcome, Jen. You are more than welcome. Can you post a list of books you held out? I absolutely will, Doris. I've got to try that. Great, Greg. Doris, I will when this publishes. It'll probably publish once I've done this. Is my first one doing it uh, on the desktop. But once it does, I will write the post. And by tomorrow, all the links to all the books, the my cook and cure kit for the corned beef, the recipes that I've mentioned in here, it'll all be linked up so you can find that. Therefore, you can follow up. I'll link to Historian in the Kitchen and some of the other folks that I mentioned. What size brisket for the corned beef? Greg, I'm pretty sure it is a 5 pounder. Let me just try. I'm checking it right now. Yep, 5 pound. And I'll tell you the one that I use. Let me go back there again one more time. Um, I use the first cut, the well marble. It's a well marbled first cut, not the second cut. Um, and it's great. It's very easy. Hi from Wisconsin. You are fat. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. So please let me know questions. Ask me anything. This is an AMA kind of like my little show to also tell you what's going on. So any questions? Anyone have any questions about anything? I am more than happy to answer them for you if I can. If not, I will get the answers to you. Anyone? I will just go through. Maybe I missed some questions. God, there are a lot of folks here. Thank you so much for joining. Oh, by the way, I wanted to say, Olga, are you still here? Please, if you are, just pop in and say yes. Olga is the kind of person that I absolutely adore. She does deep dives into things, and she has um an ebook, an e-zine or e-zine about Basque cheesecake. And it's about, I think, 10 recipes. If you're still here, Olga, let me know. About 10 recipes. It's the regular one. There is a coffee one, a chocolate one. It's superb. So she is in this chat here. And of course, trying to find her is going to be really hard now. There it is. Olga. And I'm going to put her name in the chat right now. Go look her up. and it's very reasonable. It's very reasonable. Her ezine on Best Cheesecake. Best Cheesecake is so freaking easy to make. It's so much easier than regular cheesecake. There's no water bath. It's just you put it in the oven, you put it in the food processor, you whiz it up, put it in the pan, and cook it. It's just bacon. It's absolutely fabulous. She also does a deep dive into panettone. I mean, gorgeous panettone. So definitely look for her. You can say anything at all in Basque, so I can hear what it sounds like. I can't say anything. I cannot. Do you have favorite bakeries, restaurants in Lisbon or Porto, Mary? I do. Bakeries. This is like confession time here. This is just us, and I am drinking my bubbles. I'm not a big fan of Portuguese desserts, but the pastel de nata or the pastéis de nata, or the very specific one, the pastéis de Belém, which are the custard cups with a wonderful flaky pastry and the custard on top, and it gets those little blotchy marks because it's so hot, it sort of scorches on top. My absolute favorite. If you are going to Lisbon, you must go to the Confeiteria de Belém. I'll write it here. Uh, Confeitaria, Confeitaria de Belém. It is in the town of Belém, which is now kind of subsumed by Lisbon. The thing about them is that's where they were originally created. So only they can be called Pastel de Belém or Pastéis de Belém. Everyone else has to be called Pastéis de Nata, which means cream pastry. The thing is, they're not cream; it's made with milk, but it's thickened with corn. Over there, we use flour. I use flour in my recipe. I think they use cornstarch. And they're wonderful. So that is something I would do. There is a place called Time Out Lisbon. And I know you think, oh God, Time Out, they're so gross. It's not. The Time Out Lisbon is so amazing because all the top restaurants and chefs have stalls or booths, and some of them have full restaurants there. You can taste the entire country by going around Time Out Lisbon. And there's Papa Sorda, which is Pacorda. I know I'm destroying this. Papa Sorda, it's PAP. They sell assordas, which are like a bread soup, but they're very thick and marvelous. And in the old days, what they simply were was just bread and water and some herbs in it and a cracked egg on top that you would mix into it for nutrition. Now they're just filled with seafood and it's absolutely incredible. So that's there also. That's one of them I would say. And there's also Urumeiro, I believe, and that is one of the old ones. But it's still a good one. It's an old timey one, but it's still a good one. Terry said, yes, I was there. Time out. Crazy fun. Wasn't it crazy fun? And there were some more questions. How many testers do you have, Nancy Kaplan? How long do they stay with you? At the moment, I have just a very small group. I have about maybe 10. At the most, we had 150 altogether. I think it's about maybe almost 1 to 2,000 we've had all together over all the years. Some like Greg, actually Greg is here. Greg Crawford. Crawford, he's been with me. How many years, Greg, have you been with me? And he's still part of that very small core group. The reason why we cut down is the model of my site has changed. In the old days, when I started in 1999, I was test driving cookbooks for you, kind of like what I'm doing here by curating the books a little bit. We would test from cookbooks and we would put up to 3 recipes from the cookbooks on the website so you could test drive them and then go out and buy them. Everyone started copying that. And then big bad Google came along and said that everything must be original. Everything must be original. So we're not really using that many recipes from cookbooks. So I can't churn through. I think it was every 2 weeks we would have 20 to 30 recipes that we would test with the groups. And out of that, maybe about 10, 8 we'd actually use on the site because they passed muster. Now, basically, what my testers are doing, that small group, is they're testing recipes that I developed. So, for instance, the lemon pound cake, they tested my the chicken, the skillet, the French onion chicken skillet. They tested that. They tested a cinnamon, an apple, a cider donut, an apple cider donut bundt cake. They tested for me, and so it's a much smaller group now. Do you ever make it to New Orleans, David? Favorite? I have never been to New Orleans, and one of the members of my small group that went to Italy, Her name is Darnell. Uh, she's there. And she said, you must come visit. So I promised Jen, if I do go to New Orleans, I will stop by and I will see you. I've never been. I know Emerald Lagasse, who's from my hometown of Fall River, Massachusetts, is there. I think he used to be at Commander's Palace. I think he has his own restaurants now. I would love to see Emerald. I haven't seen Emerald in years and years. Um, there were some others. I will throw you a party. Thank you so much, Jen. So I'm just going through. I think I'm going to be able to get that one corn already from a local farm. Ray, if you can, perfect. You don't corn it yourself if you can get it done. A lot of people, I find that a lot of the corned beef that I get when I was getting before I started corning my own, way too salty, and they had a lot of things in it that would make it hold on to the water the same way scallops, they put them in, I want to say sodium phosphate, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, which makes them get really plump and big. And when you go to saute them, all this water comes out. You want dry scallops if you ever get scallops. And so I got really kind of disheartened. And that's when I started corning my own corned beef. So who's going to Lisbon next year? I just saw this. Who's going to Lisbon? Oh my gosh, I just saw it. Whoever it is, I'm trying to find you. Um, Write me and I'll give you a list of all the places that I've gone. My Louisiana friend knows that Cajun chef fellow. Wonderful. So, to Lisbon has famous bread fried gigantic pea pods, uh, to Lisbon. Yes, Mary, they do. And it's called, Peixinhos da Horta, and that means little fish of the garden. And this is a little interesting fact that it was. I said, you going with me? Yeah. Jen says she wants to come to, because I was going to be doing a trip to Portugal like I did to Italy, and I had to postpone it because of my cataracts. So I might be putting one together. If you're interested, drop me a note on my Substack. So Peixinhos da Horta, an interesting fact. So what that is that's green beans, but they're very long ones in Portugal, about this long, and they're kind of wavy, and they deep fry them. They put them in a batter and they deep fry. And that is a technique called temperar. Well, the Portuguese explorers were all over the world, and they were very much in Asia, Macau, and other places. So, tempura is a technique that the Portuguese introduced to Japan. By Japan, yeah. And that technique was brought to them by the Portuguese. And the word obrigado, which means thank you, became arigato in Japanese from the Portuguese. Your trip was postponed. Yes, it was postponed, unfortunately. Um, so we will be in Lisbon for a month in June. Mary, you're going at the absolute best time, because in there is the festival of Saint Joseph, Saint Juan, I think is what it's called. I think it's like the 14th or something in June. I was there. I didn't know this was happening. And I went out in the afternoon, and all these little kids were running around, and little boys were holding little pots of either rosemary or oregano. I'm not sure. And they would gift them to the little girls that they liked. And it's a celebration of Saint Joseph. And there's sardines, because it's the height of sardine season. I do not like sardines, even fresh ones. They're not my thing. The one loves them. He can eat a dozen. Everywhere you go there, it's called na brasa, which is mean on like the hibachi, on the grills. People bring out their grills onto the streets, and they're grilling, and everyone sells them. People are drinking a beer and wine, and there's these festivals and parades. It's a beautiful time in Lisbon. See if you can check that out. I love your blog tonight, David. Thank you. I've got to log off now. Katie, that's fine. Thank you very much. I probably should wrap this up too. I just keep looking at the total. There's more and more people joining. But everyone, thank you very much. Please, if you don't subscribe to my Substack, please do. If you don't subscribe to Jen Sharp's, please do. And also the historian in the kitchen, please do. I don't even know her, but I really like what she wrote about, how she wrote about that particular book, The Cookies by Von Vreeland. And then also drop me lines, email me, go to my website, Leite's Culinaria. If you don't know it, I'm going to put it here. You can go to this is the shortcut. If I can write it properly. It's lccooks.com is the shortcut. It's Leite's Culinaria. Or you can go to my my Substack, which is the David blog. And let me know if you like this. Like, let me know what you did or didn't like about this, because I literally just threw this together. I got the idea yesterday, basically based on Jen Sharp. She had me on her show last week, I believe. And I thought, you know what? This is a lot easier than trying to do a whole production of a podcast with music and cues and editing and everything. Just getting on and blah, blah, blah. I can talk all day. And tell me if you like it, what you did, what you didn't, what you want to see more of, and maybe I could put something together more regularly to give you guys what you want. All right, everyone. All right, Laura, thank you. Oh, I'm glad you subscribed to Jen. Wonderful. Linda, thank you. Everyone, thank you very much. I'm not sure how to end this. Oh, there it is. Is it end? Have a great evening, everyone. This should be up on my my Substack very soon. Thank you, guys. Take care.